So congratulations, your book just dropped yesterday.
Thank
How
you.
does
I
it
know.
feel for it to be, out in the world?
Honestly, a little overwhelming, a little terrifying, but really fun. It's to see all the hard work that we put together and finally see it and get it in print and have people's reaction to it. I can't even explain how amazing that's made me feel. It's been very cool.
Any surprises so far as the immediate reaction from people? If there's a specific moment that they've, clung to yet?
Yeah, I always thought that people were going to really respond to the PTSD trauma aspect of it, which was expected, but what I didn't expect what people to really respond to is if Phoebe talks to herself. And apparently more people do that than I thought, which makes me good. It made me feel not as alone. So that's always nice.
And obviously the robot element, Ghost, correct?
Ghost,
So
yes.
incredible how that came together as well, just as far as
Yes.
just the moments and sort of the segue into her bigger world.
Yeah, no, Ghost is amazing, and I think that's what I feel like is really distinct about this book is that she does not feel like she's here by herself and doing it. Ghost is very much her partner, and it's been a struggle to keep that part of her a secret. So now that we're able to talk about that partnership, like the Dead Lucky is not just about BB. The Dead Lucky is about her and Ghost and any other mechs that come in her way. Like she sees them very much as the platoon that she lost in Afghanistan, and that's been really fun.
Well, and you also have the opportunity to have the character subtly introduced at the end of Supermassive.
Yes.
So, having that character be introduced a little bit earlier on to have the intrigue and the just more of planting the seeds of what's to come, I think was also just a perfect opportunity to tie into, of course, what Kyle's been building with the team, with the Massiverse as well.
Oh, I was so lucky. It was one of those things that came together very quickly, and I knew that if there was going to be a perfect way to introduce BB to the Supermassive universe, it would be in Supermassive. And I was just so lucky and fortunate that it came together, and that Kyle and Matt and Ryan gave me the real estate to be able to do that, because I think honestly it wouldn't have been the same kind of introduction without it. I think it made people excited. It also made me excited to actually see the character as a part of the universe before she goes and ventures out into her own book.
So this is, of course, reason to celebrate alone, but then you have another big announcement that you're taking over Power Rangers.
I am.
Congratulations on that as well.
Thank you. I'm terrified. Like, you just read Matt's last book. It was amazing, and Ryan's charge to 100 has been incredible, and I can only hope to do, if not bring justice or do justice to them, but at least keep up. That's my only goal here, is just to honor what has come before me and hopefully just tell a fun story.
Well, it's also nice that you have the connection not only to the franchise, but of course within this group of writers and talent that there's camaraderie, but also respect for what's come before. So it gives you a launching pad, but it's not necessarily just a clean slate, so to speak.
No, thankfully, yeah. Well, thankfully, I was with the brand for about 10 years, so and I was the lore master for it. So I know the Power Rangers side of it, but I didn't read the books for 2 years after I left because I didn't have to anymore. And honestly, it hurt a little bit to not be a part of it. And then when I got the gig, I went back and I read Matt's work and Ryan's work, and it was honestly very humbling because I was just like, wait, did this place, like, you always think that the place is going to fall apart without you, and it didn't. It thrived, and they just did such amazing work. And it made me really happy. So to be able to come in as, come back with Power Rangers, but in a different role as an actual creator and be able to do the same is really fulfilling. And I think it's an honor that I didn't ever expect to have. And so I just want to do my best to do it justice and not take that experience lightly.
Well, from what we've heard from Brian and from Matt, there's a freeing aspect as well, where it's obviously a different regime with ownership of the franchise. Does it feel a little bit different for you now, having the knowledge that you have of the lore, but being able to apply it in this manner with new support from above? More engagement, I guess. Different engagement. I don't want to say more.
It's different because usually I was on the other side. I was the one giving the notes, and now I'm the one getting them. And so that feels very different. But it's nice. I feel like it kind of frees me to be able to be creative and not be the one that owns the brand to an extent. Like, I get to own BB and what she does. But with Power Rangers, there's 100 issues that came before me of amazing work, and there's 30 seasons of Power Rangers. And thankfully, to your point, I have an incredible support structure. I work with amazing guys, Matt and Ryan, and even Kyle, and the editors of Boom, and everybody has been super supportive. And so it has been an adjustment to move into that space, but honestly, I've been loving it. It's been so fun to just think freely and not think as a producer or as a brand executive, but as a creator and what I would want to do. I've never really been able to do that, and that's been really fun.
Well, we saw a tease at San Diego Comic-Con that Rita's coming back in a different capacity,
Yes.
so getting back to some of the roots, but also a new spin on a character that we've known, for decades now. What's it like to play with that expectation and subvert that element?
I mean, I've always loved Rita, and Rita's the one that started this comic book franchise. Like, she was the main antagonist when we first started Power Rangers, and she was the main antagonist of Go-Go. And so I really wanted to start again with Rita and bring her back, but kind of give her a little bit of a different dimension, because she's been through so much in this run, and the amazing things that have happened to her. I wanted to really respect that and have her change reflect that. And so I can't speak too much to how that changes, but when you see Mistress Vile, it's going to make sense. She's got a lot of daddy issues, and they're going to come up pretty significantly.
Okay, so we're not going to ask you any spoilers. We're not going to go into any sort of detail about your run, because obviously we want to be respectful of that. What episodes have stood out to you the most, having so much experience with the franchise? What were your defining moments personally that just have stuck with you?
I hate to be cliche, but In Space continues to be one of my favorite seasons, only because there's nothing like it. It's 6 years of Ranger lore that was tied up together in a beautiful, satisfying way. The SPD season I really, really loved. I thought that was a really great reinvention of Power Rangers, and and told of a future where Power Rangers were flawed and interesting and different, and I really liked how they went there. And then I also have a special love for Dino Charge as well, because I think it was one of those things where it just told everything that was great about Power Rangers, but just pushed it a little bit. And that's really what I love about those kind of issues, where you have the team and they do something a little different, because you do it for 20 years. After a while, everything's going to feel a little bit of the same.
Last question. You announced Radiant Pink as a miniseries that you are
Yes.
co-writing.
Mhm.
So when should we be expecting a little bit more about that, or how far out is that in the Massiverse plan? I don't believe there was a specific date announced for
So
that.
late this year, I think,
Okay.
is when we should expect some more news about that. We are actively working on it, as first script is done, and we're scripting the second. And I can say it is not like any book that's been done before. It's not like The Dead Lucky. It's not like Radiant Black. Megan and Eva bring with them a special kind of chaos and craziness, and we really want to reflect that in the book. So you're going to see a lot of fun planet hopping and a little bit of romance too. And it's going to be, I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about the new character we're introducing, Kelly, who is both her love interest and also her foil. And I think it's going to be a good time.
Well, we're so excited.
From leaping tall buildings to going off like gamma bombs. Switch your internet browser to comicsonline.com.